The facility can currently house 500 people, but there are plans to expand it to serve 500 more. In order to take a trailer into Mexico, they need to provide a manifest for the U.S. Customs side. But if they want to get it past the Mexican Customs, they'll have to pay an export fee, and that could take a long time to determine and be very costly. In 1830, construction of this home began, and it didn't end until 1871. That was well after the territory that it sits upon transferred hands from Mexico to the United States. So this is how the program works. Border Smart has 5 layers of defense through 346 miles of border, starting from Valverde going all the way down to Starr County. Anytime anyone goes through the brush, it will trigger a sensor. That information will be sent to the command units and to the drones. They will follow the people all the way until they make it to the highway, and once they get there, the sheriff's deputies will already be waiting. You probably can't tell by just looking at it, but the county courthouse is now closed. They close their doors around 5 p.m. That's when officials tell us that FBI also left the building. It's a different story across the street in City Hall, where since 9 a.m. they have had a mobile command center by the FBI there on the parking lot, on the premises. There it remains right now. We know very little so far about what exactly they're looking for, but some of those questions were addressed here at the press conference that was held about an hour ago at 4 p.m. And there were several officials from the county, including the judge, several commissioners, and the city, and that included the mayor as well as several council members. But notably absent was Commissioner Jaime Canales of Precinct 4. Now, his offices were specifically targeted by FBI during today's investigation here at the courthouse. In fact, was the only office that was investigated. And there have been rumors as to what has happened. Some have even said that he's been arrested. So we asked the county judge whether he had been arrested, and he could not confirm nor deny that information. So we have had very little to work with, and what we have seen is that there have been investigators going in and out of several buildings, including here the courthouse, City Hall, and other city buildings. But even though we have had restricted access, the mayor has been inside City Hall today, and he has described what he's seen throughout the day.
Really, we have no access to computers. Basically, the floors there are occupied minimally. Just certain people can be there. The rest of the people were let go for the day. The people there at City Hall and City Annex, so the FBI could conduct their investigation. Certain people were asked to stay, and I think certain people are being interviewed as we speak. So it's part of the investigation. And it may take some time to conclude.
They don't know exactly when this will all wrap up. This may continue until tomorrow, but we don't know that for sure, so we'll be pending on that. However, another big component of this investigation is Tannenbaum Engineering. They have offices here in Laredo, as well in other parts, as well as the Valley and Central Texas, where we know that they have also been carrying out raids. Reporting for KGNS Live, I'm Valerie Gonzalez. Now back to you. For weeks, volunteers began mobilizing, organizing in Laredo and Nuevo Laredo. Baptist, Catholic, and evangelical churches are answering the prayer many Cubans are making to receive help, even if these churches are making the same prayer themselves. The day begins at the Holding Institute, but everything really started January 12th. The day of the repealing of a policy allowing Cubans entry into the United States. Hundreds now stranded on the wrong side of the border, cash-strapped without a plan, food, or shelter. People from across the country wanting to help began filling trailers, sending them here to Holding.
It all started just one weekend. It's a calling that I feel.
Donations have been packed tight into 2 vehicles, driven by 2 ministers, including Dalila Martinez.
Our main purpose is to preach the word of God to them, and they've opened their hearts to Christ.
Getting past the midpoint of the bridge, we come to the aduana, or customs, to declare what's being brought in. In order to be able to come into Mexico with cars full of loads like this, they have to declare what they bring, and that can mean that they pay a fee of anywhere from $25 up to $100 at a time. Today, it's $100 for each, $200 altogether. By now, the first group of Cubans we're visiting are expecting us. Pastor Ortiz, the other minister traveling with us, begins unloading. With the help of some of the 35 Cubans staying at this church converted shelter just a week ago. The pastor here, Valerie Gonzalez Estrada, is part of a church network in Nuevo Laredo where he felt drawn to help.
Me di cuenta que llegaron más y más, entonces me tuve que unir para poder dar el apoyo y el servicio que necesitan ellos como personas, como humanos que son.
Providing food, shelter, and now acquiring more cots is stretching them thin, but they're becoming resourceful.
Por ejemplo, trabajos de albañilería, plomería, electricidad que hacemos en las iglesias o a los miembros de las iglesias. Y de ahí viene pues un recurso, ¿verdad? Es una ofrenda que ellos nos dan.
A prayer ending with gratitude. And now we're heading to the second group. Inside the walls of this two-story combo shelter and church, we arrive with food they're needing for tonight's dinner. Through this coalition of churches and shelters, they estimate to be providing 1,200 Cubans with meals daily.
Así hemos podido tener, no nos ha faltado nada de comida en todos estos días que hemos estado aquí, que ya llevamos varios días.
As soon as the food arrives, they get cooking.
Cocinando un poco de pollo para hacer un fricasé con salsa, arroz blanco y una sopa para ir un poquito frío para que las personas se calienten un poquito.
Upstairs in the shelter, a new family is keeping warm too.
Emily Melania.
The Cuban father named their daughter after the United States First Lady, hoping one day they'd share the same country too.
Plan B. El plan B no lo he pensado todavía. Yo estoy con el plan A. Lograr pasar. Ese es mi objetivo.
Downstairs, service is starting. Scanning the pews, you won't find Dalila here. She's walking around the shelter, exercising the message.
It's something that the Word of God says to do, to feed the hungry, to clothe them if they don't have any clothing. If they're sick, take care of them.
After sharing a meal, we head back to the bridge. We arrive where we started. They begin packing for tomorrow's trip. They've just heard more Cubans could be heading into Nuevo Laredo, and they'll need to get an early start. Since everything began, they've been paying thousands of dollars to get what is considered humanitarian aid into Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. But why? Posing this question to government officials, we received an answer we'll be sharing with you tomorrow. For KGNS, I'm Valerie Gonzalez.